Hi there, it's Carol with Carolbcrafts. Today we'll be making this sweet little birthday card. It's number 1 in my Amazing Life Club Kit. Check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com, to see what current club kits I'm offering. If you don't have a club kit, don't worry, I'll give the supplies and dimensions as we go along so that you can make this adorable card with us. Now, all the projects in the Amazing Life Club Kit are featured around the Amazing Life bundle, which includes the Amazing Life stamps and the rectangle stitched framelits dies. So those of you who purchased the Club Kit have a PDF of the supplies and dimensions, but we'll go along with that just to double check to make sure you have everything that you need. So the inks that you'll need are Old Olive, and then you'll need some Stampin' blends for coloring. You'll need dark Daffodil Delight, dark Balmy Blue, dark Poppy Parade, and light Petal Pink. And the cardstock that you're going to need, will need a card base 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, made with thick Whisper White cardstock. And then 2 pieces of Old Olive cardstock, 4 1/4 by 3.5, and then 2 pieces of Whisper White cardstock, 4 by 3 1/4. For your DSP, you will need to cut from your 6 by 12 sheet that comes in your kit this piece of floral paper with the Old Olive striped stitch striped DSP on the back. So what you'll do, this is 5 1/4 across. So you'll cut your 6 by 12 at 5 1/4 this way, and then this piece is 5 1/4 by 3.5, and then you're going to use the bottom part, which would be 5 1/4 by 1 1/8, but we'll be using the reverse side. Now, the embellishments that you're going to need from your kit are 3 of these little enamel dots that you see, the yellow, the pineapple punch, 2 pieces of Daffodil Delight, which are, it looks like 10 inches and 7 inches, I believe. Yes, 10 inches and 7 inches of the Daffodil Delight double stitched ribbon. And to make it easier for you to do the stamping, you'll need a 4 by 6 sheet of window sheets or any kind of plastic that you can use. You'll need your snail adhesive, and for your tools, you'll want to grab your piercing tool and your scissors. I'll be using my Stamparatus, but if you have a different stamp positioner, you'll want to grab that. And of course, you'll need your Big Shot. So normally, we'll start out with our stamping. I have my 4 by 3 1/4 Whisper White sheets. One is for the inside sentiment here, the happy birthday, and one is for the outside. We are going to go ahead and cut this and then position our stamps on the cut image. And the reason we're doing that is because it's easier to place these two. These are 2 separate stamps, so it's easier to place them in position if the cardstock is already cut. Now, for the front sentiment, we're going to use the 5th largest, I believe. Yes, we'd use the 5th largest for the sentiment. That's this one right here. And we'll just go ahead and get the 4th largest, which is one that's just a bit larger, not smaller, for the Old Olive background. So we'll go ahead and get the 4th and 5th largest rectangles from our rectangle dies. Now, the stamps that we're going to use today are the Happy Birthday with this little decorative stamp here, and then the Life's Too Short to Say No to Cake, and the cake itself. So I'll go ahead and take the smaller of the 2 dies I have out, which is the 5th largest, and I'm going to die cut my 4 by 3 1/4 Whisper White. And I'll run that through my Big Shot. So I've die cut my centerpiece here, and I'm going to go ahead and get my Stamparatus out, and I'll be using my foam because these are photopolymer stamps, and I'll place a stamp pad underneath to make this level. So because I know I want to place my stamps perfectly, I'm going to use my window sheet, and I'm actually going to stamp on this first. So I'll put my window sheet in place, and I'm just going to find a place, it looks like right here at the edge there. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. I'll be using Old Olive ink, and the first thing I'm going to stamp will be the Life's Too Short. So I'm just going to put my Life's Too Short right here and pick up my stamp, and it's photopolymer so it's going to stick to my plastic, but that's okay. Let's just keep that in place. Put this, once it's inked up it won't stick as badly. Okay, so that I've got my Life's Too Short, so I will slide this underneath, and that looks, I want it to be kind of more towards the bottom and then somewhat to the side, and I want it to be level, the cake to be level with the cardstock. So I'm thinking I'm going to bring in my stamp just to make sure I'm leaving room for it, and I do have enough room for it, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this and put it on my paper so that it holds my paper in place. Ink up my stamp again, and place it down, and I'm going to ink it up one more time because I want it to have a nice rich image. So I'm going to clean off my stamp. Now I'm ready to do the cake part of my sentiment. And so I'm just going to remove this other stamp and put my cake stamp kind of in place here. I don't really need to use my plastic for this. I could if I wanted it perfectly. So if you want to use your plastic for that, you can. I think that's going to work, so I'll pick that up, ink it up, and I'll do that one more time, lightly, just lightly. Okay, so this front part is done. Now we'll do the inside sentiment. So I will get my happy birthday, put these back where they belong, get my happy birthday out, and that decorative little 3-piece floral thing. I'll use those two for the inside sentiment. And because this is a horizontal landscape card, our inside will also be landscape. And if we want to, we can use use our window sheet. We'll just have to clean it off really good and dry it off and put that in place. And I'm just going to put happy birthday down here kind of at the bottom. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to line it up and ink it up. Now I'll get my cardstock and put happy birthday just wherever I think I want it, not too low but not too high, just in the center and level. Okay, that looks good. Ink up my stamp. Happy birthday. Now I'm going to do the little floral things. Clean off my stamp first. We'll do the little floral things on the sides. So I'll get that little stamp out. And I can just do this with a by sight if I want. It's going to be like right there. So pick that up, maybe. Doesn't want to pick up. It's sticking to the cardstock. Come on, you can do this. There we go. So I'm just going to lightly ink that up and put that there. Okay, and then clean it off. And then I'm going to make sure it doesn't have any ink left on it. And then I'm just going to put it here on the other side. Okay, so I actually had to redo this because I pressed too hard when I put the second little floral thing on there. So be sure not to press too hard on your stamp when you're stamping. Okay, so I will go ahead and get my second floral thing on there, and this time I won't press very hard. I'll do that one more time, lightly. Just gently press. Okay, so we have our happy birthday. So we're done with our stamping, so I'll put all of this away. Now we're going to take one of our pieces of 4 1/4 by 3 1/2 old olive, and we're going to cut it with that larger die, the 4th largest die in the rectangle dies that we have. And we'll just go ahead and run that through our big shot like that. So we have our bottom piece. And then we'll bring in our other piece of old olive, which is going to be our background for our inside sentiment. And this is going to be the background for our outside sentiment. So now we need to do some coloring. So we'll go ahead and bring in our Stampin' blends. We're going to color the cake with the dark Poppy Parade. We'll color the cake letters. The cake itself will be colored with light petal pink. The candle will be dark balmy blue, but you could make it a different color if you wanted. And then the flame will be dark daffodil delight. Okay, we have our coloring done, so we're ready to start putting our card together. So we'll start with our card base, and we're going to find our crease and fold away, and then use our bone folder to crease that fold where we scored. Now the paper, we're going to want to put some ribbon on it before we put it on our card, but we kind of have to figure out where we want that ribbon to be. So we want the green is going to go below, and this is there should be 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So you can kind of figure that. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead, and once we have this in place, we'll put a strip of snail as close to the edge as possible, and kind of just place this by sight about 1/8 of an inch from this edge, and this edge. And then we're going to come in with this piece. Might be better to do it this way, I guess. Go ahead, and I think I'm going to put just a little bit, just a tiny little piece of snail there to hold that in place while I get the other DSP where I want it. And that'll hold it kind of in place for me. So now I'm going to want to bring this piece in, get 1/8 of an inch on this, and this corner, matching it up with the sides. And let's see, this moved, so I'm going to have to put it back down here. About 1/8 of an inch all the way around. There we go. And it's moving again, so I think I'm going to have to put two little pieces because it's turning. So I'm going to put a little bit of snail there and there. I want to be able to pull it up once I'm done. And then I'm going to find my 1/8 of an inch again. This time hopefully it'll stay in place. And then I'm just going to get that 1/8 of an inch in these three and match it up with the bottom. A little tricky, but it's doable. And so my sides match, so I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to just take it off the front, and now I can put my ribbon on there. I'll turn it around, and where I know I'm going to put my ribbon, just above the place where you see where the green meets there, that's where we're going to put our 7-inch piece of ribbon. And I'm going to have my X's in front just because I liked that look. I like the X's on the front. Turn it and push it around so that the I guess I didn't put enough adhesive back here. It doesn't want to stick. Okay, so I think this should do it. Line it up with that. I want even ends on both sides, so I have plenty to turn that around. And I think because this is thicker ribbon, it doesn't want to stay in place. Okay, I think maybe I was putting my glue in the wrong area too. Okay, that's what it was. All right, so now I'm going to push this down. Yeah, that's what it was. I wasn't putting my adhesive in the right place. And push that in. Make sure it's level. Okay, so now this is ready to go on the front of our card. I'll put some adhesive on my ribbon. And I'll go crazy with the snail. So this is ready to go on the front of our card, and there's 1/8 of an inch all around. And for your, we'll put our ribbon here in the center. Now let's see, we'll go ahead and put this on. And then this is going to go here. Just want to make sure you leave room for your ribbon down here. There we go. And now our ribbon is we're going to take our 10-inch piece of ribbon, but before we do that, we probably should go ahead and put our inside in there, our inside sentiment. So we'll put some snail on this. My snail is not being very nice to me today. I'm not sure why. It's fighting me. Okay, we'll put it on the inside. Now for our bow, we're going to, let me see, we're going to put, with the stitches facing up, we're going to slide it down in the center through the bottom like that. And then this part, oh well, actually no, we want the X's facing up. Sorry. Alright, so we're going to make a loop with our X's facing up. Just kind of did like that, just made a loop with the bottom tail. Then we're going to bring this around and push it through the loop that we made and pull it till you have it where you want it, the size that you want it. That looks good. I'm just going to neaten up these edges here. Looks like I did it kind of like this towards the bow. Sometimes you do it away from the bow. Okay, and then I think what I did also, you don't have to do this, but I think I picked up a piece of glue dot and stuck underneath that bow to keep it in place so it doesn't like flop around. And then lastly, before we are done, we're going to put our 3 pineapple punch enamel dots here along the top, and we'll start with the smallest one and put it here, just kind of in the corner. Then we'll take the second one, line it up, put it there, kind of next to it, maybe a little bit too low. It's hard to tell. There, and then the last one we'll put here towards the center, even distances, and we have our 3 little enamel dots. Okay, that's our card. This is number 1 in the Amazing Life Club Kit. Check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com to see what current club kit I'm offering. Thanks for watching. Bye now.